Do you like your pancakes patted, your biscuits buttered, your cakes fluffy? Then you should get Mother Butters. I put that on everything. Pasta, veggies, rice, and everything nice. Mother Butters will get you right. Oh yeah, GMO free, and for those who are vegan, Mother Butters has a non-dairy option. That's right, there's enough Mother Butters for everyone to enjoy. Get Mother Butters from your local grocery store. Hey man, what you doing in my kitchen? Hey everybody, this is your man on the wall, Chris Fury. Thank you for tuning in. I hope everybody can hear me out there. I'm coming out of one class and getting into another show. That's what I do, baby. But if you are watching us right now, I want to thank you for checking in with us. I want you to hit that notification on the YouTube channel. Fury's Reacts and Reviews is currently on there now. You can watch past episodes. And if you are listening to us on anywhere you listen to your podcast, well, like I said, you can listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts, including the Opulence Radio app. Check that out. And she was on with What the Shit last night with us. And she's dope people. You wanted to hear some dope stuff, check out the Opulence Radio app. You can also check us out on iHeartRadio and anywhere else you listen to your podcast. But right now, I'm bringing on a gentleman who is making a difference in the world, because this is what I like to bring to the table. I like to bring people of color, creatives who are trying to make a difference in the community. And this brother here is doing just that. And when I say it, I just don't mean it that way. He's also a teacher. So he's using the combination of blurredism. Yes, that's a word now. I'm coining it. And being an educator and pushing it forward to the next generation. I'm going to bring in Naseed Gifted. What's going on, Naseed?
Peace.
What's happening?
How you doing? Can you hear
Hey,
me?
what's going on? Yes. What's going on? Hold on. Let's get you here. There we go. You tell everybody what it is that you do. Let's talk about Khem Fest, because I think this is a dope situation you got going on, and I believe you have a Kickstarter as well. So we'll get all into that. So let's talk about you.
Well, first of all, peace, everybody. My name is Naseed Gifted. I'm an educator, engineer, and writer of an Afrofuturism series called People Soldier, and I am the founder of a Black comic and animation film festival called Khem Fest. And we are in our 8th year of the festival, where we are looking to inspire the next generation of creators and innovators. We use their passion for comics, animation, and gaming to push those number of STEM careers or STEAM careers that's out there, and exposing our Black and brown babies to that. So, we just try to take their passion and move it into something that could be lucrative for them in the future.
Right. This is what I love about your program, is that it's a combination of two great worlds, really. And that's, comics and the art form of comics and being able to tell a story, and then also STEM and STEAM, and being able to push forward that narrative of it's okay to be a Black nerd. It's okay. It's like, and when we say blurred, we don't just mean comics. We mean comics. We mean film. We mean writing. We mean television. Mm-hmm. We mean music. We mean artistry. We mean science. There is such a broad spectrum that gets overlooked or is swept under the rug. I guess you could say, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not touted enough. So, how did you come up with Khem Fest?
Well, it goes with the whole journey of coming up with my own Afrofuturism graphic novel series. So as I was traveling the country promoting, how we can use this graphic media to teach STEM to young people as well as adults, by breaking down, complex topics and making it into more soluble solution for individuals. I noticed that I'm going all these places across the U.S. I'm going to ECBOC, I'm going to Motor City Con, I'm going to Sankofa Con or Onyx Con in Atlanta. Like I'm going to all of these different places, but I noticed my hometown of North New Jersey didn't have anything like this, and our community didn't wasn't even familiar with this type of this blurb like Comic Cons and stuff like that. So I wanted to be able to expose and educate the community all at the same time, and hence Khem Fest came about.
Right. Uh, Here I got a couple flyers that you sent me. I know your
Yes,
Kickstarter. Here's your Kickstarter right now. You can check that out right now. And I love the tagline, "Bringing Wakanda to Newark," uh, because where we are, so is
yes,
Wakanda.
yes, definitely, definitely, definitely.
So I love this process. I love this idea. Uh, you also had, I think it's today. Is it today? I think you had a thing going on today. Is this for today? The
Yes,
Kim. Okay.
yep, yep.
That-
That's I literally just came from there.
okay. So this is so for those who are watching. This was his Afrofuturism Art and Tech Gallery. Which number one, a beautiful combination of many things that we as people of color can really get into.
hmm
How was this?
I mean, it was actually phenomenal. We just had an opportunity to showcase Black excellence. And when we talk about Black excellence, we did it in the Afrofuturism space, where we talk about, what the future of fashion, future of art, future of technology, and a future of architecture. What does that look like? Um,
Mhm.
and now to be included in the equation, where so many other medias have left us out, we wanted to make sure that we are included and then showcase that excellence with it. So we had about 12 exhibitors, I mean 12 exhibits throughout the space. We have 12,000 square feet of this Afrofuturism experience, where we are hitting those four elements of art, Afrofuturism art, fashion, architecture, and technology. So
Right.
um, I mean, the mayor came out. We did a ribbon cutting. It was nice. We were able to capture the moment and then just showcase that Black excellence, man. The blurbism at its finest. That's what I
That's
would
that's
say.
the, see, he's
At its
got it. Everybody,
finest.
he knows what it is. He got it. He got it. So you're an educator. You're a teacher.
Yes, yes, I am.
What what drove you to become a teacher, and not just a teacher, but what made you think, how can I take the world of geek and me being a teacher, how can I make them mix and get a kid to really see it and understand it?
So we talk about access. We talk about the power of words. So me being an educator, I'm no longer in the classroom. I'm actually a school administrator over a high school, but I've actually had the opportunity to be able to infuse this into a curriculum where we want to be able to address a couple of things. We want to be able to address our low-level learners as well as our high-level learners, and found that this was the perfect medium to be able to do it. uh, as adolescents, young people learned pictures with words. That's our name association with that. But we also wanted to infuse and change the paradigm of how you view the word superhero. You know, being able to empower that word and actually change how people look at it. And it all kind of started with a conversation with my son when I took him to see Incredible Hulk. And we talked about the word superhero, and he could name everyone from Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and everyone in between. But the thing that really alarmed me was in our household and how he knows about his history and his background. He knows about the three M's: Marcus, Martin, and Malcolm. And we talk about kinetics, and he understands his place in history. But when we said the word superhero or hero, you know, none of those images of those individuals appeared in his head. And that kind of set me off on this whole journey to be able to, initially I got upset, and then I actually set forth on a journey to be able to do something about it. And then hence started developing a comic book series that, was kind of like a spinoff from a clothing line that we used to do when I was in college. And then uh, and just kind of just kept building from there.
So let's start. Number one, I like how you mentioned how you use the medium to teach even low level learners, because one thing that people don't understand, especially I have a friend who has 3 autistic children,
Mm-hmm.
and they learn visually.
Yep.
They're all different. They're all on different spectrums of autism. However, they are visual learners, and for the most part, a lot of us are. You don't have to
Yep.
necessarily be on the spectrum, but a lot of us are with anything. So I like that you mentioned that it comes from, or it helps you to from a low level to a higher functioning level learner, and it bridges that gap, and I
Yep.
like that. I like that. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's all about entry points, and I actually conduct some workshops where we're using comics to teach STEM. I just came from a education conference in Grapevine, Texas, where I did a workshop on how Spider-Man taught me my first physics lesson. And this is something I do with um, 3 to 5, middle school, high school, as well as adults. And because I'm using the medium, I'm using the graphic medium, they all have access and they have familiarity, and then they can also be able to engage in discussion because they have access to the learning. So understanding the prior knowledge, they didn't have to actually understand it, but they could visualize it, right in front of them, and be able to engage in a discussion.
that's what's dope. I like that. So you mentioned we're gonna backtrack
Okay.
just a little bit, just a little bit. Um, you mentioned Spider-Man taught you the first thing about physics, right? So
Yep.
is that one? I would ask you, who was your favorite? Who were you most exposed to, or who did you learn the most from?
Oh, as far as comics or anything like that,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
just in general? Oh, okay. So, I mean, growing up reading comics and everything, I had 3 titles that I read. One was Spider-Man, the other one was X-Men, and then Black Panther. Those are the 3 titles that I engaged in. Uh, I knew about the DC
Been
world
in
and
my
everything.
closet somewhere. That like, because
Yeah, yeah.
that's
I
like
mean,
my
I knew
main
about
3 titles.
yeah, those are my 3. Those are the ones I collected. Everyone else, I might have read every once in a while, depending on the story, But those are the 3 I collected. And then from there, just kind of stayed with that. Then of course I get into that was middle school. So then I get into high school. I pass it over to my brother, and it was all about basketball and girls. So I put that to the side, but still was passionate and interested with the genre. Um, but I moved more into the animation side of it versus the comic book side. And then it wasn't until later on in life, after I had my own children, where I kind of jumped back into that passion, because I'm actually an engineer by trade who transitioned into education. So, that discipline, teach you about problem solving and, being able to break things down into its smaller parts and then put things back together. So, me going into this journey of being a graphic novel or comic book creator, uh, was something, was some work for me.
Hmm.
I didn't have the traditional path of the artist or the writer. I had to take some courses. I had to do a lot of studying and everything else that came in between. And then I traveled to a number of conventions to get to work on my craft.
So let's talk about your graphic novel. What's the name
Yes.
of it? Let's talk about it. Let's tell the people about your graphic novel. How did it come
So,
about?
so the graphic novel is called PB Soldier. It's set in the near future where we live in a world where everyone is considered terrorists. PB Soldier, who is one of the world's top hackers, has just been labeled a top terror threat in this world. It has to go underground, work unofficially off of the books for the newly formed world government called the Establishment. Um, while he's getting trained as an assassin, he starts seeing visions of a life that's not of his own, which actually is his ancestors hacking into him while he's hacking into the world. And that's kind of like where the story kind of starts from, where he's trying to get an understanding of how his past connects to the present, paves a pathway for the future.
I like that. And because it speaks volumes when you say how your past connects to your present and your future.
Hmm.
That's dope because
Yeah,
that's something, especially in the Black community, we are currently dealing with and
oh yeah,
always
definitely.
dealing
Oh
with.
yeah,
Always
definitely,
dealing with.
always. I mean, yeah, part of his whole journey is to get the understanding of how um, his legacy, his family history or his family tree goes through these generational things, time after time, and now he's going to actually have the opportunity to be able to, break those, break those traditions, break that path that his family was on for generation after generation.
That's such a, and see, this is why I do this show. Because the individuals like yourself who are out there, who they might be making some ground in some places, some more than others, but they don't get seen. They're not getting showcased. Or and I've been seeing you around for a minute, on IG, and I have been following your stuff for a minute. So I know that the talent is there. I
Hmm.
see this. I see the gifts in a lot of our communities, and they don't get brought to the forefront. And that's a lot of, shout out to Hellspawn Cosplay, and shout out to King Kurt over Head Nerds in Charge, and Montel over at Blurred Corn Speaks, because in Do You Speak Geek, uh these are shows and platforms that we are trying to open that door, open that
Oh
pathway
yeah,
to say,
definitely.
hey, look, we are here, we exist, we have something to offer. We're not begging for a seat at the table, because generally we're making our own table. We're just saying, hey, I get that you might like this particular comic or this, but you might like this.
Hmm.
You might
Exactly.
like what Khem Fest is offering. You might and see Concrete Comics there, and then having people that have what's the other book, Tuskegee Airs. Having these
Hmm.
types of stories being told from our perspective, and saying, "Hey, Captain America's great, Spider-Man's awesome, but what about this book? What about PB Soldier? What about that? I want to know more about
Hmm.
that, and I think we're coming to a place now in our generation and in our time, especially with the way the world is, we're coming to a place where we're being recognized. And in
Hmm.
most cases, like with Black Sands Entertainment,
Oh
we're
yeah,
coming
they're
to a
doing some
place
real
where
powerful stuff.
yes, people like Jasmine LaFleur and Carlos Williams who run Black Fade, you know,
Hmm.
we have a story to tell, and that's what we want to do. And not many people either know how to get it out there, or if they do, they're getting swept under the rug,
Hmm.
or they just don't know the next step to take. So to have something like Khem Fest and like this art gallery, I wish I stayed in the area, because I would
Oh
I
yeah,
would have
yeah,
loved to be at something like that. I would have loved it. I would have been taking video and everything. But to see that type of stuff and knowing that it exists, to see shows like Lovecraft Country, which unfortunately was canceled,
hmm
but to see those type of stories and us being the leads, you know, we're seeing things now. we're starting to see, and I think a lot of people are starting to notice that, like, what, they're on to something. You know,
Mhm.
it's not necessarily this side of the story anymore. Sometimes you need to tell this side of what's going on and see how they address it, which is why I created Blurred's Eye View, and to tell these types of stories. So this
Mhm.
is what I truly, truly appreciate it. So you have, when is Khem Fest coming up? Your actual Khem Fest. That
So
is
that's September 23rd through the 25th.
okay. That's it. Yep. Yeah, here we go. So if you're watching this and you stay in the area, or you just want to travel to the area, check this out. This will be on the page. I will be posting it up. Check out Khem Fest and give him a follow on IG. But this is your, how many? This is what year for you?
This is the 8th annual. This is the 8th year of
Eighth,
Khem
the
Fest.
eighth annual. So that means you're probably in your stride now.
We're definitely getting there. We're definitely getting there. I mean, we started off at the local high schools and just been expanding each and every year since.
So what can people expect to see when they go to Khem Fest?
Oh man, we have a ton of different elements. I mean, we have one of the only Black animation film festivals, Kim Animation Film Festival. That's one feature. We're also going to have the Future is Black Afrofuturism fashion show, um, and then we're going to have a number of comic animation and game design, exhibitors and exhibits at Kim Fest, beyond the fact that we're going to have a whole STEAM lab where young people are going to have the opportunity to make slime. They're going to actually have the opportunity to see some 3D printing demonstrations, as well as a robotics demonstration. So those are like some of the very unique elements that happens within KimFest. And we have a video game lounge. We have a video game lounge where game creators can actually beta test their games, at our festival and everything. And young people as well as
That is
adults get to
amazing.
be able to play it, man.
That is amazing.
Like it's just being able to showcase this stuff is just I get elated by just all of the creativity that's in the atmosphere. Sometimes like you get caught up as an artist. Sometimes you get caught up in your own projects and everything. Then to step out and see others in the world and they doing some great things, and then be able to build a nexus where you get the now generation to meet that next generation of creators and inspire them. You know, that's what it's all about, because there are 100+ jobs in an animated film, as well as in the video game, and a number of those opportunities are STEM related, and they some require a degree, some of them are just technical, where you just need a certain skill set, and those are the opportunities that we need our Black and brown people to be able to know about, as well as fulfill.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that because that is something that I've always seen, even been privy to myself, is that you have the skill set, but you don't have the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And like you could have this
Nor,
kid
nor,
who
nor do you know the opportunities there.
exactly because it's not being showcased in some kind of way. And that's what I love when I was reading about everything you were doing. And I'm like, yo, this is fly. And I've been hearing about it, but I just never attended. I stay in Ohio. So and so to know that, when you just said you have people who can beta test their game and people can play it, you you don't hear that a lot from any convention. And to know that you might have a kid who doesn't have the opportunity, who doesn't have the funding behind them to go to this prestigious MIT or whatever the case may be, but they can give you a new app, they can build you a new game, they can write you and draw you a new graphic novel or comic, but they don't have the outlet.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen many people coming up that were massively talented, but no way to put it out there. No, the artist is fantastic. People always going to this dude to make shirts, to draw on their shirts or something like that. But nothing beyond that, because he doesn't. They say, oh, you need a graphic design degree, or you need this type of. Do you necessarily need a degree, or do you just need the opportunity? And that was the block. That's the bridge that's needed. So, dude, Naseed, my God, thank you. Because you're doing more than just giving the offer. How many lives have you had, students and people who have graduated? Have you had students come back to you say, hey, thanks to you, thanks to the programs, thanks to the outlet and the exposure, you helped me out? Or have you had parents say, hey, you helped my kid out, and it's beautiful?
That is it took probably, I've been in education for 20 years now, so it took probably about after my 8th year that I started getting young people coming back and telling me these type of things, and how, what they were exposed to, how it impacted them, and then, getting a number of students to pursue engineering as a career path, and all those things. And those things are the most fulfilling thank yous that you would ever get as an educator.
Right.
And that is, I'm seeing more of it now. But of course, my early part of, so for any early educators, you won't get a thank you, you won't get a pat on the back, you won't get any of that. But later on in life, keep pushing through, and 8 to 10 years later, those young people will come back and see how you impacted them. As long as you're genuine, let me just say you're genuine. You're not just doing it for the paycheck. You out at soon as the bell ring, or you out before the kids even leave out the building. Those type of things. But if you're an impactful educator who is looking to change lives, you will definitely get that thank you. Later on.
And see, here's the other plus side to what you do. Before you said you're an administrator now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, but here's the other beautiful thing. You don't see a lot of black men in that position of being an educator. That was another thing.
Yes.
We see a lot of black women, and we do support them, but you didn't see a lot of black men also in those same roles, because you do have young black boys who might need that role model that they may not get outside of the classroom. You look for that. You kind of look for that. And I commend you. I gotta pull it up. I commend you because I got.
Oh.
It's something that's needed. We need that. We need a lot of that. All right, I didn't pay y'all that much. Just chill out. All right, there we go. So, before we get more into your Khem Fest program, STEM, and just the Kickstarter, I got some blurred news. So, unless you were living under a rock, San Diego Comic-Con has come and gone. And let's just face it, Kevin Feige he's the blueprint master. He's the chess master. He dropped the mic. He dropped the mic where DC fumbled the ball. I that's the best I can say. They've had a lot of news to drop out of there, and probably one of their biggest pieces of news was the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer. Who's this comment? Hey. So, I don't know if you've caught any of this news, Naseed, but I'll be doing a breakdown on the YouTube channel later this weekend. It'll drop. But there were a lot of visuals that came out of this whole uh wait. Oh, from Saudi Arabia. Oh, oh, Saudi Arabia. We got Saudi Arabia in the house. Good
Oh
Lord.
wow,
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, so some of the news that's been dropping, like it's been so much. It's ridiculous. But we now get Captain America New World Order starring Sam Wilson now in the role as Captain America. Uh there's gonna be haters. We know that. We know that. I've read the series. Guess what, people? Sam's always been Cap. He's been Cap for several years now. I'm not talking about the MCU. I'm talking about the books. He's been Cap for quite a while. And it's okay because he has his own shield. Cap is also still Cap. It doesn't matter. Um, but they also dropped, news on Blade. Blade is going to be starting filming next year. Starts filming next year. And that it's something amazing. Mahershala Ali is playing Blade, of course. Agatha, Covenant of Chaos, which will be on Disney Plus. As if you've watched WandaVision, that's you see where Agatha was left at on that show. It's going to be fun watching that. Loki season 2 is currently filming. That was the one that blew the shark out the water. Guardians 3, they're actually done filming Guardians 3. They showed the little teaser trailer at San Diego Comic-Con, which I attending next year. I have plans. I have major plans of getting in there next year.
Oh no, you definitely got to get there. Definitely gotta
get Yeah. I that's something I'm trying to get into. I've always wanted to go to San Diego Comic-Con. It's been it's on my bucket list next to Dragon Con. So, which I can't seem to get. I don't know how I'm gonna pull off Dragon Con because Dragon Con happens the same weekend my anniversary. So I'm just like, yeah, honey, let's go to Atlanta.
Yeah, that's
in
what
Atlanta. I just need one day.
Yeah, just go to Atlanta Friday. You do it up.
Right.
Saturday, hey, I gotta go see a cousin or something. I don't know.
You're right. If you've been watching Hawkeye, you know that Echo, who first was appeared in Hawkeye, will now also have her own show. The way that show ended, I'm not surprised. There was a lot of news that he gave out, and it's not just films; it's the television shows too, which is something they were concentrating on. Because right behind Echo, he said that Daredevil will be returning in a 18 episode series, and it's called Daredevil Born Again. So,
wow,
yeah, a lot of fans knew that he was back. If you watch Spider-Man No Way Home, he made his appearance in there. Wilson Fisk, who's played by Vincent D'Onofrio, has shown up in Hawkeye. So it was like the writing was on the wall. If you chose to go any other direction, it would have probably been a revolt. That's just what it is. Thunderbolts is going to end. Was it phase 5, Thunderbolts. So if you're paying attention to any of the Disney Plus shows and I'm trying to think if any of the movies have any of them in it, but Disney Plus has already introduced us to U.S. Agent. Obviously, we have Yelena taking over the reins as Black Widow. They are just announced today that Sadie Sink, who is from Stranger Things, has been tapped to pick a role, and they're probably saying Songbird, so she's also one of those roles as well. Hey, Groovy, what's going on? Also, the Contessa, who's played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, will be manning this whole thing. She's like the female Nick Fury, only bad, if that makes any sense. So, he announced Fantastic Four that will be starting pretty soon. He also said in phase 6, we get 2 Avengers movies. One is the Avengers Kang Dynasty, and the other one is Avengers Secret Wars. Yeah, it's a he packed it in. Here's like the whole phase. Is that phase? Yeah, that's phase 5. Ant-Man Quantumanium starts up February of next year. Then we get Secret Invasion in spring of next year. We get Guardians in May. We get Echo in the summer on Disney Plus. Loki season 2 is appearing in summer of next year. The Marvels, which is the Captain Marvel sequel, will be premiering next July. Blade will be in the fall. Ironheart, which is Riri Williams, who we already getting introduced to, and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Agatha Covenant of Chaos will be November. Daredevil, they didn't don't know that Daredevil was spring of 2024. Captain America: New World Order is May of 2024, and it ends with Thunderbolts. That's phase 5. That's a lot to unpack. That was a lot to unpack. And then he turns around and says, and here's phase 6. So he literally went in and kind of dropped the ball, or not dropped the ball, he dropped the mic on whatever DC premiered. Because DC, all they really had was a new Shazam, Fury of the Gods trailer, and a new Black Adam trailer. However, no Henry Cavill. No Henry Cavill as Superman, which The Rock had said that, he would love him to come back as Superman. But then at the convention, he said he would love to, fight Superman, whoever he's being played by. And that's when the crowd booed, because they just knew Henry Cavill was in the building. Because Henry Cavill's a nerd, but he actually wasn't there. I don't know where he got the information from, because he's actually trying to film Witcher, which he has to put on hiatus because he just tested for COVID-19. So,
okay,
yeah, so that's going to be on the wait list for right now. But when I say the emotion that filled the room, because I've had a couple people that I know personally that's gone. One of them is my co-host Tracy Carr. She's not here tonight. They said the emotion that filled the room was when they did the entire Black Panther Wakanda Forever cast. And they started off with the musicians playing the music from the first film that we heard, the actual musicians coming through the crowd, playing the drums, singing the song, getting on stage. Ryan Coogler comes out. He introduces every last musician that was involved. Then he introduces the cast. They talked about Chadwick Boseman and what his role meant to him, and how they hope to honor him in this film. Obviously, the Black Twitter and Black Facebook is torn because they're torn between recast and why they didn't recast him for this film. And bottom line, it made sense that they didn't recast him for this film. It would have been insensitive, because at the time that they were going to start filming, Chadwick was actually conditioning himself to be trained. He had to get into training. So what you got to understand, for people that's listening out there, movies work a little differently. They have to train physically. They also spoke a totally different language, which was Kosa. So he had to learn. And he was already, from what I understand, he was learning that on the spot and was catching it. Physically training, learning the script, the whole nine. Then he unfortunately passes away right in the window where you're starting to train for the film, which means they would have had to do auditions, screen test, train the person, because you just can't grab anybody off the street to train them how to fight. You can't just grab anybody off the street to learn Kosa. You just can't grab anybody and deal with. You got to read between the lines. They said this was the end of T'Challa in the 616 universe, and we are actually in the middle of the multiverse saga. So trust and believe that at some point, it's not going to be Chadwick's T'Challa, but we may get one from a different universe, and that's okay, one way or the other. I prefer that they didn't recast him. I would have loved they recast the character, though, but those are big shoes to fill. That's my spiel, you know,
Mhm.
and I'm okay with that. I'm better off with them giving me this film and paying homage to him and paying honor to him and doing this the right way, because you figure the cast are still grieving. It's been 2 years and the cast is still grieving. A lot of us are. So just think about it. It's kind of the smart move for them to make. It's okay. They don't have to do this right now. It gives them time. So, but that's my spiel on that. Other than that, in Angela Bassett giving that powerful, 3 or 4 line speech in the trailer, which a freaking tearjerker at best. You know, it's just like, but Angela Bassett is an actor. She's not here to play. So, but yeah, it was a lot to go into, and I already have my react to it, but I'll be doing a review on the trailer and a breakdown of what we've seen so far in the trailer, and I may give theories on it. I may not. You'll have to watch. You'll have to hit that notification bell on the YouTube channel to find out. So, so I appreciate Naseed telling us that these were one of the characters that he really followed and he fell in love with next to Spider-Man. And I can imagine why Spider-Man, because not only is he a science geek, but he deals with the struggles that a lot of people deal with. The everyday, you know, he's an orphan. He's trying to help his aunt make money. He's trying to help pay rent. He's trying to keep a job. Doesn't know how to talk to girls. The whole nine. It's anybody, black, white, brown, purple, yellow, any guy or girl can see themselves in that role. And I think that's something that, because that's also one of my favorite characters is him in Black Panther. Cap is another one, because Cap is one who literally stands for what the country should be, not what it is. Like, he's even gone against the grain and said, yeah, you guys don't like the government. He's gone against the government and even said, like, you guys do not stand for the people. And he said,
I mean,
like,
that's a good take on it, because you know, always looked at him in parallel with the ideals of, you know, of what we see as America. But yeah, he did break the mold on a couple of things.
Yeah, and that's what I appreciate. X-Men is another one, which is another book I got, because who else? What other group of people know about being ostracized or cast aside than immigrants and people of color? We know that feeling. We know what that's like. We know what it's like to be hated for absolutely no reason other than fear. and Charles and Xavier are the antithesis of Malcolm and Martin. they exude that. So back to Khem Fest. You also have a Kickstarter.
Yes.
So I don't have the link for the Kickstarter. However, I do have your IG. So if you want to support this Kickstarter, and I'm going to pull up the Kickstarter picture as well. If you want to support this man's Kickstarter, Naseed Gifted, go to his IG page. He has a link tree, and in that link will be the Kickstarter that's currently live. When does it end?
It ends August 11th.
So you got time, people. You got time to go out there and put some change on this man's name. And I mean that in two different ways. You can help change this man's future to help others be changed, and you can put some change in his pockets. I don't care how you look at it. you'll be helping some people out.
Definitely.
So yeah, this is. I still love that tagline, bringing Wakanda to Newark. It's so dope. Um, but you want to go and check this brother out. He's doing really good work. He's really bringing forth something for the community. He's giving back to the community. I love that you instilled in your son all the other our heroes, and then
Mm,
turned around and say, okay, he can name these, and these, but he doesn't. He can't name, and he can't name black superheroes at the time. At the
yeah.
time. And I've seen that conversation as well. I've seen that conversation unfold in a lot of different circles where they say, how many black characters you can name? And I'm like, you'd be surprised. There's more than you think.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about what the media shows you. I will say that um, there are more people now who know John Stewart, the Green Lantern, than they do Hal Jordan, which is funny to me.
Yeah.
thanks to the Justice League cartoon, they know John Stewart before they know Hal Jordan.
Well, yeah, that was McDuffie. That was whole McDuffie.
Oh man, McDuffie. Let's talk about Milestone for a second.
Mm-hmm.
The people who really changed the game was Milestone Media. They gave us Static, they gave us Hardware, they gave us Blood Syndicate, they gave us Rocket, and they gave us Icon and Rocket.
Mm-hmm.
And you can still go get these things now. They talked about issues that generally people are scared to confront in comics or won't talk about. And which with you're doing when you told me about PB Soldier, it's doing the same thing. Talking about your past and your present and how you can change your future, and I see those parallels, in those books as well from Milestone
Mm-hmm.
Media.
Oh no, they were definitely ahead of their time. With content, character design. They went away from the tropes and stereotypes that most of the big two or the big three were doing with their particular characters. Because as you know, and besides Black Panther, most of the black characters or characters of color either had some dark past or whatever, or just fit some stereotype that everyone pretty much assume when it comes to black culture and
Mhm.
what it means to be black in America or in the world. Just saying the world, like,
Right.
it's part of the African diaspora.
Now, you're also a two-time Glyph Comic Awards winner and Urban Action Showcase nominee.
Yes.
What does that feel like when you were in that circle to be recognized for that type of work and say, is that when you were like, I'm really making a difference? Was that what it kicked in?
No, I mean, I was just humbled and I was humbled and honored. That was the first thing. And I always, I'm so hard on myself, I would say. I just, I understood the moment, but I just still felt like I got a lot of work to do. I'm not satisfied until, I can, you know, people will know who People Soldier is, know the brand of PBS Media, you know, we'll be talking about Khem Fest like we talk about Comic Con, those type of things. Um, and I mean, and that's what I'm striving for. That's the goal. That's the goal. Because we're looking to impact so many lives, with what we're doing, and just being trying to be as powerful, and using that tool to be able to do that.
That's what's dope. Um, you can't really put a price on what it means to be a POC creative and to be able to give back on top of that. Not only just get something you created out, but to see the feedback from people saying, man, I really needed to see that. I needed to read that story. I'm glad I read that story because it reminded me of blase, 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 you know, and we don't see it enough. We're seeing it more often. Let's put it that way. We're seeing it more often than we did 3, 4, 5 years ago.
That's correct.
Let's put it that way, because we're out there. We have the Jason Michael Primroses with his 2050Z book, and we have, you know, Oliver Banks and his arts, and we have Always Press Record. They're doing their thing, working with Hellspawn. We got Head Nerds in Charge doing their thing with the con circuit and just giving back, you know, their tagline, proliferation of Black people in something in media, mainstream media, in mainstream media. He'll get me later. You know, I mean, Will. What is next for you?
Next for us, on the comic side, we're moving into animation, so we're changing our project into animation. And on the Khem Fest side, we're just continuously looking to grow the platform. You know, we want to be able to showcase Black creators like, you know, like no other, and be able to just make sure that the now generation meets that next generation of creators. You know, we want to inspire those individuals, those young people, those adults who didn't know that, oh man, I'm spending all this time on a video game, but now I can actually look to be able to create a video game. Same thing with animation and everything. So we get to move from being consumers to producers and creators.
I dig it. That sounded so cliche, just did. But I seriously, dude, I love what you're bringing to the table. I can't thank you enough, because it makes me feel good knowing that there are people out there like yourself who are trying to make that kind of change in other people's lives, and saying, hey, we exist, we're here, this is the platform. And what's even better is the fact that I'm still tripping over the fact that you have a function, a convention where people can beta test a game they designed. I have not heard that anywhere. You might be able to play some games, but if you are generally in the basement or in your room designing your own game, here's a function, here's a place where you can actually bring that to the table and say, I want people to beta test it.
I mean, and that's what we encourage. We encourage people to do that, you know, because I mean, with everything, the main thing that you want is that feedback. You want that feedback because we want your product to get better. We want you to be able to, you know, pitch it to the big wigs and get that massive following and everything. But of course, you definitely need a test market, you know, with regards to, you know, your product and how it meets the needs of the individuals who are going to be using it.
And see, what's beautiful about it is you're not only building game developers, you're building entrepreneurs, because they all feed into the same funnel. You know, so you're allowing them to, you know, they might see just one leg of it. I'm like, yeah, but you can really branch this out into some other stuff. And you never know. You never know. This person not only will be a game developer, but then they can become the entrepreneur. That character that they have for that game could possibly be in a comic book. So now you're building artists and writers. So everything works hand in hand. And that's the beauty of it. And I don't think a lot of people understand just how important that truly is. Like, they don't really understand how important it is to be a blurred, for that matter. and how it is to have a gift and actually use it. And for that, my guy, I gotta get to you again. So,
Thank you. No, I mean, platforms like this, it helps us because it becomes an outlet for us to be able to get the word out and let more people understand and know, being able to join a movement. You know what I'm saying? This is a
right. That's what I could dig about it. So, before we wrap up, anything else you want to talk about?
Yes. So the last thing with bringing Wakanda to Newark, we have a Wakanda Ball. We have a Wakanda Ball on August 20th in the Futurist Black Futurism Art and Tech Gallery space in Newark, New Jersey. So that, there you go.
There we go.
There you go, right there.
Right around the corner, people.
Yep. Tickets are available now. It actually, if you put Wakanda in Newark, it'll come right up on Eventbrite as far as the link, but the link is also at on our Instagram page on the link tree where it says, Wakanda in Newark Ball.
There it is. Because you can check him out, Khem Fest. That's the IG. Wakanda in Newark Ball. Now, one thing I'm gonna tell you people, and I know if you're listening or you're watching, you know one thing we know how to do is we know how to show up, we know how to show out.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's what we want you to do. Come in your royal attire.
Royal attire. You already said it right there.
Royal attire right there. Showcase that excellence.
And you know what? This is the year to do it, people. You got the Wakanda Ball in Newark, New Jersey. You got the Woman King dropping in September.
Oh yeah.
You got Wakanda Forever dropping in November.
Wait, I just want to pause on that for a second. Did you see the Woman King trailer?
Yes, I did. I did a reactive one.
Oh man, that thing was so powerful, right?
I should go check it out. It's on my YouTube channel.
Oh yes, definitely.
I can't wait for that movie to drop.
Gotta see it.
Yes, the homie tribe. You have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time we actually seen him was in Lovecraft Country.
Mm.
It was an episode in the Lovecraft Country and the episode was called I Am. And one of the scenes was the main character. She was going through different time periods, and one of those periods was being in the homie tribe, actually being a warrior, and kind of learning how to fight and stand up for herself. And just seeing that trailer alone. Whew.
Oh yeah, this is definitely powerful. I can't wait till that film come out.
Oh my God, September.
Front row.
I've never wanted September and November to be here so bad in my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Naseed Gifted, brother. I want to thank you once again for coming on. Go check him out. Go to his IG page, Khem Fest. You'll see the link for the Wakanda Ball. You'll see the link for the Kickstarter. You'll see the link for when Khem Fest is kicking off. You got a busy year, brother.
Yeah. and I go back to school next month. So.
See, but it all pays off to something positive and well-meaning, and it's going to be giving back to the community. And the way that works is not only does it give back to the community gives back to you, and then it just keeps going back and forth. Which is why Khem Fest is in its eighth year. So this is a good thing. So, but man, Naseed Gifted, you need to check him out. You need to show him some love. You need to show him your funds so he can make this thing bigger, better, and badder and blacker.
Definitely.
But I want to thank you for coming on, man. I want
to thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I try to really help people like yourself get out there and see it, and because we are ready to receive it. I can't tell you how bad we need it. If 2018 showed us anything, is we know how to show up and show out. Like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and for those who are listening and watching, yes, the attire for November 11th will be white. If you do not have white, then let it be of one royal color, one solid royal color. Come in your Africa diaspora. If you're a POC, of course, we don't want any mixes along. we don't need that. But show your respects. Come in your silk linens if you want your white silk linens, like you at the beach. But we're here to show up and show out. I want to thank my guest, Naseed Gifted. Man, this was a dope conversation, a dope platform. I got to put a block somewhere now where I can make it to one of these things.
Oh yeah. I mean, if I drove to Detroit, Michigan for Motor City Black Age of Comics, I think you can make it out to Jersey. Because I passed by to get there.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, where's this? I've done a trip similar to this before. I think I got it in me, but but man, I want to thank you again. It's such a dope platform you got. I love the message that you have for it. Check this brother out. Check out Khem Fest on IG. Check out the link tree in the bio. It'll tell you all the areas all the things he's got going on, including his Kickstarter. Show your love, show your support. But tune in next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, as me and the gang are talking about something geeky. You'll have to tune in to find out. And then tune next Thursday at 9 p.m. next Thursday with my other co-host, Tracy Carter, as we talk about something geeky. But until then, like I do with every show, remember to educate yourself and others, entertain yourself and others, and most of all, encourage yourself and others. I'm your man, Chris Fury, the man on the wall, along with my special guest, Naseed Gifted of Khem Fest, the founder of Khem Fest. Such a dope platform. Show your love. But until next time, I'll see y'all with the next mission. I'm out.